Hi guys, welcome back to the stream. Today we're going to be going over the Blacksmith, and the Blacksmith is only accessible after you have beaten the second main mission in the game, the Beast Born of Smoke and Flames. And that in that mission you will come across Senji Toyo throughout the mission, and once you've beaten Enria and you come back to the map, you will have access to the Blacksmith from your starting point. Now she does have dialogue and all that good jazz. You'll go in there, hit I want to know more, and she will explain everything about it. About special finds, buybacks, forging, familiarity levels, soul matching, inheritance, transfers, refashioning, tempering, remodeling, and divine items. Now, once you get further on into the game, and you've completed most of her side missions for the Magatamas, and you will get Muramasa. And you can speak to Muramasa, and as you do things in your forge and temper and soul match, you will get what's called patronage, and you'll then use your patronage on I have a request for Toyo. Now this is for sell price markup, purchase price discount, forging cost discount, additional stock, and additional special finds. I have all my stuff maxed out because I focused on it, and I spent a lot of time in my blacksmith as well, spending a lot of gold, which gave me a lot of patronage because most of it was spent in soul matching, forge, and tempering. And I get more money for selling things now. I get things for quite a bit less, 30% less when I buy them. It is 30% more cheap for me to forge, and with the additional stock, you know, it's just more things in the shop. And additional special finds increases the amount of things that you can see after each mission, and you go into the blacksmith. Now for Muramasa, he has upper and lower level limit for forged items. This does nothing, okay? At this point it's just kind of a waste of patronage. Does nothing. You're gonna still forge regular weapons and +1 weapons. The +1 only applies once you've beat the game and you are in New Game Plus. But it's cheaper for me to soul match by 40% now, which is dramatically amazing. It would cost me 87,000 gold to soul match. Now it costs like 4,000, depending on what it is. Tempering costs 30% cheaper, very useful. I'm not concerned with refashioning costs because I barely do it. Being able to pay soul matching costs with patronage is very useful, so do put into that. Disassemble to obtain rare materials. If that's what you care about, go for it. I didn't care about it. But as soon as you unlock Syllabar ingots by beating New Game Plus, you need to get this maxed out as soon as possible. It allows you to store an Amrita in a Syllabar ingot at the rate of 99%. So only 1% of Amrita that you put in there will be lost. So get it to 99. Now we're going to go ahead and go over to buy and sell. Buying, you know, it's pretty straightforward. You got your shop, standard items, and then you got your special find items. Alright, check these out at the end of every single mission to see if there's something there you want. Don't bother looking at the armor and weapon selection. Complete waste of time. Okay, you could literally craft all that or find it normally. For selling, the same thing applies. It's just specifically for your armor and weapons. You can sell what you don't want. I recommend, if you're early game, to disassemble it, because that's going to give you stuff to forge what you need later on. You can sell your accessories as well as your tea utensils once you've reached later in the game. Quick and easy way to get money is by selling your tea utensils. As you can see, I have 60 million gold. Since we're on my higher end account, we are going to go over soul match because I don't have to use as much gold to do it on here, whereas on my other account I do not have enough gold to go over soul match. So we're going to do it right here, and we're going to go over the plus level stuff. Now soul match is where you go for your armor and weapons that you want to keep with you at all times throughout the game, but making them stronger as you go. Not really worth it until you've hit New Game Plus, but if you want to be stubborn and go do this, by all means go for it. It is expensive. The only weapon that's really worth soul matching is a yokai weapon, which has sentience and corruption. Right here, the Tobikura Kusarigama. Now, if I want, I can go grab a soul core, and for quite literally the fraction of the price, I had to spend almost 3,000 gold to use this to power up this Tobikura Kusarigama. Now, I'm not getting a level increase because I do not have a level 170 soul core, which is how you get your 170 weapons without finding them randomly, which is very nice because the level cap is 160. As you can see, I have a 170 Odachi plus 9. Now, when you're soul matching, do keep in mind that, say, I'm trying to make my Odachi right here. This level 7 Odachi, level 160, okay? For one, it's not going to go that high. It's too big of a gap. It's going to cap out at level 57. 50 levels is as high as you can take something with soul matching. You can't take it 51 levels or 58 levels or anything like that. The cap off for how many times you can soul match it is by 50 levels from its initial soul match, from its initial obtainment level. Now, what I use as my soul matching material has to be of the same rarity or higher, or the level will not go up. And as you can see right here, it's not a +1 weapon, but because I'm putting a +2 on it as material, it would take it to +1. Now, we'll go over that in just a second for the plus deal. Now, if, let's say, see if we have a stronger lower level. Apparently we do not, but that's okay. Say this mirror blade right here was a common rarity. It wouldn't bring the level up at all because it is of lower rarity than what is trying to be increased. The material has to be of the same rarity or higher. So because I'm using an exotic base, I have to have an exotic material or a divine material as the sacrifice. I cannot use rare, which is blue, and I can't use uncommon, which is yellow, and I can't use common, which is white. I can, but it's a waste of time and money. So don't soul match unless you're later in the game and you really want to keep these things. It is stupidly expensive. As you can see right there, it's 8 million just for me to do that, and I have a 40% discount on soul matching, but that's also a 50 level gap. Anyways, now when it comes to the plus gear, and this is for new game plus, you have divine gear now. All right, now what this is going to do is this right here. You have all these weapons. They're max level 160. All right, you have from +1 to +10. all right, you're going to take this +1, put it as your base, and then you're going to take another +1. okay, that those two will add together to make a +2, and it will increase the overall strength of the weapon. For me, 29,000, and you have to keep doing this over and over and over and over so that it stacks repeatedly to the point that you get +6s, and in my current case a +9. I'm trying to get it to +10. As you can see, I have all this stuff right here, all these plus weapons. It's a lot of gold and a lot of patronage. So if you're new game plus, definitely grind it out, kill the revenants, get that plus gear, all that good jazz, because the sooner you max everything out, the better. Now for the armor, it's the same deal. Alright, same exact deal. Only difference is there's more things to work with when it comes to soul matching. Everything that I said for the weapons applies here. If you notice, if you're new game, you look at your armor, you don't see familiarity on your armor, that's okay, don't worry about it. That is specific to divine gear, and you have to beat the game to get it. Once you get a hold of divine gear by beating the game for your first playthrough, you will unlock divine gear and armor. Now the armor now gets familiarity, and as familiarity increases, it increases the overall defense of the armor as well. Perfect example, I got 2+1s right here, so we're going to go ahead and mix those together and get a +2. It went from 193 to 203. That's how it just made it a bit stronger. That's it. And like I said, for the weapons, you're going to have to stack them and stack them and stack them. Only difference is now, if you want all of these +10, it's going to be even harder because there are 5 separate things you need to do that with. Bonus, you do end up with more plus gear armor. For me, it seems that I end up with more boots than anything and more gauntlets than anything, whereas my waist guards, my torso, as well as my head protection, I don't have as many up. Now keep in mind, when you're soul matching and you soul match out of the same category, perfect example, this right here, my gauntlets. Alright, so it's going to cost me 29,011 gold to soul match this one right here to a +2. But I'm also doing it with another gauntlet. Now if I press circle and I go to something like my pants, if you notice, the soul matching difference is quite different, almost doubled. It is now 58,021 gold for me to soul match out of the same category, meaning I tried soul matching, I was using pants as my material for sacrifice versus the gauntlet. I understand the whole point of making it more expensive, so, but just try to keep it in the same category. If it's not in the same category, it's going to be more expensive. The same thing applies for the weapons as well. Only difference is once you get into it and you're actually soul matching for plus levels, you're going to use a lot of gold, so you're not going to really care if it's from another category. But if you're early on and you are soul matching, stop it. It's expensive. Save your money. Unless you are using a yokai weapon, in which case by all means go for it, due to the fact that soul matching for a yokai weapon is a lot cheaper than it is with another weapon, by far. That's about the only thing you should soul match at the beginning of the game, is a yokai weapon. Now, for refashioning, you can change the look of your armor as well as your weapons. For the weapon, I'm currently using the Futsu no Mitama, which is my Odachi. If you're ever tired of how something looks, you can easily change it to something that you do enjoy. I just changed my Futsu no Mitama from its original look to a wooden Odachi. Now, I am going to change it back because I don't like the way that looks. It doesn't change any of its stats or anything of the sort. It just simply changes its appearance. That is it. Same with your armor. No difference. Just simple as you don't like how it looks right now, you change it to something different. Just like that right there. It does cost money. There it is. Now, that covers soul match and refashion. Now we're going to move on to tempering. Tempering is where this gets interesting. This is how you take your gear that you think you want or you do want and you make it better. You go there, this is where you temper your accessories, your weapons, and your armor. And I have already tempered my accessories and I have no current extra accessories, so I will not be showing that. But we will be taking something random like a torso protection. Alright, we're going to go for a low level one because it doesn't matter. Now, you do have 4 different kinds of Umbracite that you are required to have to do each one of these. You have Standard Umbracite, Quality Umbracite, Fabled Umbracite, and Divine Umbracite. Fabled Umbracite can be crafted so long as you have 3 Quality Umbracite. Divine Umbracite can be crafted so long as you have 3 Fabled Umbracite. Regular Umbracite can be crafted by dismantling epic gear and getting Umbracite fragments, in which case you then go to your forge, go to tools, and craft Umbracite. You cannot craft quality Umbracite. You can only get these as random drops as visitors, and by completing your daily Twilight missions. You can complete 4. Do not forget that. If you're just trying to grind out quality Umbracite, they reset at the same time every day, which is at like 2 in the morning for me. Do them. do them in New Game Plus, swap your difficulty, go to your very first game, your first playthrough difficulty, and do your Twilight missions there. That's 4 quality Umbra sites and can give you 1 Fable Umbra site. Now, as you can see right here, fall damage taken minus 9.2%. I'm not concerned with fall damage, so I'm not going to focus on that. What I do want is this defense right here. So I'm going to give up my fall damage taken for a defense plus 12 for the cost of 1 regular Umbra site and 14,858 gold. Now, this is how you change the stats on all of your armor and your weapons and accessories. Say you do like the weapon, but you think you can make it a little bit better. Grind out, get what you need to do this, come into your blacksmith, go to temper, and mess with everything until you have it where you want it. I want my toughness, so we're going to keep that. I don't care about poison resistance, so we're going to ignore that, and we're going to go to life plus 65. That's extra 65 health, and because I do have familiarity on this, as the familiarity increases, all these stats right here, the life, the toughness, the projectile damage taken, as well as the defense, it all increases as my familiarity goes up, not just my defense. Just like your weapons, as your familiarity goes up, every little thing on there that adds to something will get stronger as the familiarity fills up. So always max out your familiarity for the stuff you use as quick as possible. It'll never hurt you. And don't be afraid to figure out what you want by going through temper. You will spend a lot of time here. This is also how you get a bunch of patronage, which I'll just show you real quick because I do have the gold and the means to do so. So we're going to go ahead and do that real quick. In the meantime, I will show you what we're going to do with the patronage. Alright, because I don't have the ability to put any more patronage into Toyo, alright, we're going to have to go put it in Muramasa. Sitting there and tempering a lot, and forging a lot, and soul matching a lot will give you this patronage, and in which case you will then take it to the place you need it in and put it there. Now, that's how you get your patronage. That's also how you want to use it. Which one you prioritize is completely up to you, because I can sit here and tell you what to prioritize, but what you want to do is completely different. Do what you want to do, make yourself happy. That's the best way to enjoy this game. Now, remodeling is specifically and only for divine gear that has a plus level. Alright? Like this right here. We're going to show you in the Odachis because it benefits my skill tree, which is a max stamina and a max strength, so they're both at 99. Now, this is where you increase its damage or lower it based off whatever your stats are, okay, by specializations. Right here, specialization 3, strengthen the strength and increase attack value. Specialization 2, strengthen stamina and increase the attack value. Specialization 1, strengthen heart and increase the attack value. So what this is doing is it's strengthening it based off what you have in those categories. I don't have a high heart stat, so it doesn't do much. It just makes me weaker. Now, right here, I do have both maxed out, which is why they don't take me higher specifically in one area. Now, what you want to look at is right here. My attack bonus off of stamina is going to go down to D plus from a C. My attack bonus is going to go up from a B plus to an A on my strength setting. So what we're going to do here is we're going to press triangle to select this one. Then we're going to highlight specialization 2. We're going to increase both our attack bonus for strength and stamina to get that special extra oomph, because that's how we're built. Now, for me, it only works this way on Odachis because of my skill tree. How it works for you is completely different. Keep in mind what your stats are. Keep in mind what you want for your remodeling. Also, you need metalworking chisels. Alright, you can craft them. You just need infernal nails and stuff like that. Don't be afraid to go do that. Grind it out for things that you do need. And if you ever are unhappy with what you have on there, you could always take it back to standard. You can do this to your armor as well. Like right here. We're not going to do it to that one. Right here. For me, my build is based off doing more damage because of the weight of my armor being heavy. So by me reinforcing it, I increase its weight and increase its defense. It does make me slower and consumes more ki. So keep that in mind when you're doing these. The core stat requirement to activate the special effect will increase, but the defense will be raised significantly. Not as much as it would be raised by reinforcing, which just increases the weight. But it does not, however, increase the core requirement stat. Meaning, for me to use this, I have to have a skill level of 9 and constitution of 8 in order to use Pit Viper robes. If I put it on Refine, the constitution goes from 8 to 9 and the skill goes from 9 to 10. Whereas standard, it sits there, no increase, no weight increase, nothing. So you need to pick one based off how you're doing things. If you're using a skill setup that focuses on constitution and skill already, then you're good to go. Alright, for 1 point less, I would go for Refine at that point if you are focusing on light armor, because it does you no good to increase your weight. Anyways, it does cost 21,225 gold for me and 1 metalworking chisel. So because I only have 10 of those, I will not be doing this again. I just showed you on the Odachi, and that's how you deal with your remodeling. Now keep in mind, if it is not divine and it does not have a plus, you will not be able to remodel it. If you notice, I don't have anything but plus divine here, no matter what it is. And because of that, you can also do it to your accessories as well. Keep that in mind by increasing its weight and defense, or increasing its core stats required. Now, I did it on Reinforce. I increased its weight because, again, equipment weight gives me extra stuff. Now, what you choose to do is completely up to you. Have fun with that. Now, for Disassemble, you do have to do this early in the game. Fill up your inventory on a mission, leave it after you beat it, or just use a divine branch. Not a divine branch fragment, but a divine branch. So that way you can keep your Amrita as well as everything and soul cores and still leave. Now, you want to dismantle anything you don't want, that you're not going to use, alright? For me, it's anything that's below divine rarity. Alrighty, so we're going to go ahead and dismantle these. Alright, because I am dismantling the purple rarity, I'm getting 1 Umbracite. If I dismantle rares, I get Umbracite fragments. As you can see right there on the right hand side of the screen, I'm putting up 2 blues and 1 purple. I'm getting 6 Umbracite fragments and 1 Umbracite. The 1 Umbracite again comes from the purple, and the Umbracite fragment comes from the blue. You can also get Umbracite fragments from the yellow, which is uncommon, but you're not going to get as much as you would from the blues. So we're going to go ahead and put that on there. We're going to press X. We're going to dismantle that, and that's how you're going to get your stuff for your forge. Alrighty, I had to swap to my other account for the forge so that way I could show you all everything, because my other account that I did the rest of this video on is at max level 160 for armor and whatnot. It is max level on character as well at level 300, so everything I forge is going to be maxed out. So in order to show you all and for you to have a better grasp of what I mean, I'm going to go ahead and show you on my lower level account. First things first, this is where you're going to do most of your things for the beginning of the game. Forge your weapon and your armor. It's not worth soul matching unless you have a sentient weapon, which is a yokai weapon, which imbues corruption, because you can soul match it with a soul core for quite a bit less than what it is required to do it with another weapon. Now, first things first, if you look all the way up at the top, you'll see rarity level of forged items there up top in the middle. You have 34%, 22%, 11%, and 33% all in each different rarity. So what that means is that's a percent of chance when you forge a weapon what kind of rarity it's going to be. Now, right here, it says, right there at the top above the picture of the sword that I'm going to forge, it says level 13 to 22. What that means is when I press forge, it has a chance to come out from level 13 to level 22 or 14 to 21 and etc. And its rarity will determine its familiarity as well as its attack based off its level, and your stats that come with it are based off how many you get, or is completely based off your rarity. Whereas yellow and white will get the same amount of rarities, blue will have one more, and purple will have the most. Okay, now if you look over to the right hand of the screen, you will see the required materials for crafting here. Requires 2 ingots, 1 tamahagane, 1 wood, and 1 lacquer. That is what is required for me to forge the Nioh2 katana. Okay, and when I press X to start with this, a new thing pops up. All right, right there in the middle, you see the common, uncommon, rare, and exotic. Now what this is, because I have ingot highlighted, it requires 2 ingots for me to craft this. What it's going to automatically do out of those 4 little things right there that it pulled up is automatically use the highest rarity. If I don't want a chance for exotic, I'll increase my chances of something else like uncommon. It increased it to 40% by adding 2 uncommon ingots to this, and lowered my epic or exotic rarity chance from 33 to 20%. I am going to keep it up here and use the highest quality that I have as I have it, so that way it increases my chances overall of getting a exotic weapon. Now, if you do run out of one of these, it will automatically choose the next highest quality of required materials, so don't worry about it. We're going to go ahead and craft this for 696 gold, and we only got a standard. Now, we're not going to equip this. We will add it to inventory because we do want something different. We are going to forge and forge until we get an exotic or a rarity that we are content with. Now, this is where you're going to get most of your stuff. Perfect example right there. It's a level 22, which is the maximum level we can forge, and it has an attack of 209, which is great, all things considered. And if you see right there on the symbol right here that I now have highlighted with the yellow pulsating thing, that is called an inheritable ability. Okay, so what that means, if I max out the familiarity on this and I use it as the sole matching material to be sacrificed on the weapon that I now want, one, it'll increase its level if this Nioh2 katana is a higher level, and it will bring over this strong attack key damage to the new weapon, so long as the new weapon as well has maximum familiarity. If it does not have an inheritable, which will be marked by that little symbol right there next to strong attack key damage, it will just add another slot to the list of skills that it now has. So keep an eye out on those. Make sure if that's one that you really want, you can always use whetstones to increase its familiarity just to get it. It does, however, still have to be of the same rarity or higher as the material to transfer. Keep that in mind. And with that, that's pretty much all you need to know for forging. This is how you're going to get all your stuff for your beginning rounds in the game. You do the same thing with your armor. That's what I did. Made my life quite a bit easier. And now your tools. This is where you forge stuff like your arrows, your gun ammunition, your powdered bombs, and some amulets, as well as righteous jaspers and divine branches. We're going to go ahead and craft that because we can. Now, you can also forge clay bells of beckoning here, which is very nice. They summon the little yokai kitties that you see around the map that you pick up and you pet, and they follow you around and help attack. They do an insane amount of key damage, and you can summon 3 of them at a time if you have clay bells of beckoning. You can only carry 9, so keep that in mind. Now, you're going to go to your smithing materials and your tools for your forge. This is where everything that you disassemble will go, material-wise. What you will always do is go through and craft to the highest quality, starting from yellow all the way to purple. This is also where you get your umbracite because of the umbracite fragments that you have obtained. We do not have 10 umbracite fragments, so we cannot even create 1 umbracite. We're going to scroll down and see if there's anything here. There is nothing here for me to continue adding to, so with that, it only costs 1 gold to forge any material to a higher rarity. Keep that in mind. This is where your disassembling comes in handy, so don't be afraid to do that. That's going to be all for this video. Y'all take it easy, stay safe, drop that like button, hit that sub button, and most importantly, share the love with everybody.